Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 2 of the anime series Gangsta, and this is all kinds of badass yet again, and it really offers up some tantalizing hints to what exactly is going on with the Nicholas character. I have to say, just 2 episodes in, and he's vastly become one of my all-time favorite anime characters for the complexities of his character, being deaf, still being capable of speech to a limited capacity, all of the hand signs and the sign language and everything being officially overseen, apparently, by the, Japanese Center for, Sign Language or whatever it is, in the course of the production of the show, and just the super normal abilities that he has. And we have sort of, hinted at in this episode, they're called Twilights. They wear the dog tags. The dog tags usually being meant for armed forces to identify, the bodies of soldiers killed in action and such like that. But here it's a completely different scenario. It's almost a warning. I love that idea of beware of dog. Beware of messing with the bulldog on the chain, Only these suckers are off the chain. That dog tag is the only chain they have. And if you get on their bad side, well, you're pulp. Basically, even amongst themselves, as we see in this episode, you have this B2 dog tag. I don't think we ever get his name exactly, but he's trying to strong-arm a close friend of essentially the boys, Nicholas and Warwick respectively, this Dr. Theo. And they figure they're going to go after his sort of errand girl or assistant, this little girl, Nina. As soon as we meet her, it's absolutely hilarious because she walks in on apparently Alex just having gotten out of the shower and works there with his shirt off. It seems to imply something else was going on. And she freaks out, she runs off, and she runs smack dab into Nicholas. And we see that there's this great rapport between them. Like, it's only the second episode and we've only just met this character, yet I feel like they're family and they've known each other for an amount of time already, and it just feels there's like a warmth there in the rapport between them. Nicholas purposely goes out and gets a drink that she favors, and he uses the excuse, well, that's all he had, instead of the seltzer water, which apparently is all he drinks and everything. And I love that. I just love the characterization between them. And the idea of this overriding question, especially as seen through the eyes of Alex, who's new on the beat in a sense. She wasn't born here. She doesn't know sort of the idea of what the dog tags thing represents and everything, much as we, the viewer, don't. Or at least for those of us who aren't familiar with the source material, the origin material. And so she's kind of like the eyes through which we're seeing all of this. She's very human and, seeing the capabilities of Nicholas, the bloodthirstiness in, the job that they perform, being sort of handymen, as they keep being referred to in this episode, or cleanup men. It's somewhat traumatizing. It kind of calls back on that thing, with the Vesper Lind character in Casino Royale, the Bond movie. She witnesses murder right in front of her. People are gunning for she and the Bond character. And it's traumatic for her, and that's kind of the weight that Alex is experiencing in this episode, when, of course, you have Nicholas bringing Nina back to Dr. Theo's office, and he's being accosted by the B2 sort of dog tag. But then, of course, you see that Warwick noticed there were some guys skulking around that alley where effectively Alex was pimping herself out, so to speak. And they decide to get the jump on them. I think there's this great line of dialogue where the B2 guy's getting ticked off as soon as Nicholas and Nina show up on the scene. Like, hey, we were supposed to take care of them. How many guys did we send? Looked like 3. Tough though they may have been, Warwick and, Alex effectively dispatched them with relative ease. And, I think it's absolutely paramount in the compelling nature of the story. Even with sort of a handicap, as this Dr. Theo character says, Nicholas, he's giving this B2 guy handicap. At this point in the episode, he had run into that guy in the alley, and, the dog tags that Nicholas wears had broken apart, and so he put it in his back pocket. You can't see them, and this B2 guy's all getting up in his face. He's like, what do you think, this is a game? I'm gonna kill you now. And Nicholas is standing there, he's like, you got 3 minutes, give it your best shot. You know, I'm not even going to lay a finger on you. I'm not even going to raise a finger. I'll just dodge everything you do, you know. And you got the Dr. Theo character getting really ticked off. And here's something, I mean, this character's intriguing as well, because he's missing some fingers. He's got syringes filled with, you know, Lord knows what, probably knockout stuff or poison stuff. There's references from Warwick later in the episode about becoming experiments for this guy. He seems like a fairly ominous figure you don't want to mess with, even though he's not super normally powered and supercharged like Nicholas. There's even a point where he's trying to, like, air quotes, kill Nicholas because the B2 guy is messing up, you know, the outside of his office and everything. And oh, there's that whole scene where he's like, Nina, go in the back, climb in the window because I forgot the key. You know, I think he's just trying to get her out of the way. But all of this stuff going on, all of this action and everything, and again, the idea of beware of dog, the dog tags, the twilights, it really sort of, you know, fuels my suspicion and speculation, calling back on another passion of mine, the series Star Trek, and of course the film Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Khan Noonien Singh was a character that called back on genetic manipulation, trying to create a super soldier in test tubes and the perfect human being. And I almost have to wonder if that's what this is in reference to, this whole calling back to the Twilights. Maybe these were sort of soldiers that were created in test tubes, or at least enhanced, made supernormally powerful. And, you know, in Nicholas's case, he's one of the good guys. The rest of these guys, they're hired, you know, out from thugs and gangsters and everything like that, trying to strong-arm people, put the fear of God into people, slaughter them, turn them into pulp if they don't, you know, bend to their will and everything like that. And you got this B2 guy who's really, like, just absolutely racist and scathing. You know, he's calling, like, Nicholas yellow and slant-eyed and all this kind of stuff. And we see that Nicholas is just playing with him. Even Nina, she's like, wow, he's just playing with him the whole time. Officer Chad, Captain Chad's not going to be too pleased. And I like that dynamic as well. Like, we're still seeing that here we got these guys, and I guess they have criminal records because we see wanted posters or whatever they are in the precinct office when Nina gets a call into Chad and is warning him what's going on between Nicholas and this B2 dog tag guy. And he's basically really peeved because this is something off of his watch. It's not something he's set up or he's overseeing. And he doesn't want either Nicholas or Warwick to go sort of out of bounds like that. But he still gets there on the scene once basically Nicholas has wiped the floor with this, you know, B2 dog tag guy. And I like how, you know, Chad's reprimanding him and he smacked him and everything. And you got Warwick getting that jab in on, that's why your wife left you. And he's like, what's that have to do with anything? You know? And by the end, of course, we see this very ominous scene where this B2 dog tag and, you know, bandages and everything, I guess he has gone crawling back to whoever hired him. And he's like trying to be apologetic. He's like, give me another chance. I know I messed up, but I can do it, you know. And it sounds like children's laughter as these two pint-sized sort of silhouettes go up toward him and a blade gets unsheathed and effectively, I guess, he's mutilated as a result by whoever this, you know, silhouetted figure, this gangsta, if you will, that hired him. And so that's where we end. And it's like, whoa, you know, they aren't messing around in this place. And again, calling back on that scene where, you know, Nicholas walks in and he gives Nina the soda and she's using the sign language. Again, all of that sign language, it's absolutely just all of these things together. The action, the sort of investigating the crime and this criminal element, aesthetic, the you know, cleanup men routine that these two main characters, Nicholas and Warwick, are going through. Alex being sort of, again, the eyes through which the audience sees because she's new to the world. And these other intriguing characters, Dr. Theo, very malevolent though he seems to be, he also seems to be a good guy with those missing fingers. It seems like he's seen some crap. You know, he's not somebody to trifle with either. These cops, they're hilarious. They seem to be more relegated to comedic effect because anytime you have Chad, you know, yelling at them and everything, I'm just chuckling, I'm laughing, not really sensing any sense of threat. Just the rapport between these characters, I absolutely love. They have nicknames for each other, you know. They're sort of getting so familiar with each other. Alex has only just debuted to the scene, and you got Warwick calling her Allie, and you got this little girl Nina calling Nicholas Nico. You know, Warwick calls him Nick and everything. And I like that they have these, you know, cute little names for each other that speaks to that rapport, that familiarity. All of this stuff comes together and has a great charisma, the entirety of the story, and it draws you in, at least for me. The action is like edge of your seat stuff. I couldn't wait to see what Nicholas was going to do after that 3 minutes. At first I thought, you know, like the doctor says, I'm going to end you in 3 minutes, like, you know, here we go, it's time to play. But really, that was Nicholas giving this other guy a chance, psyching him out and being like, come on, come at me, and let's see what you got. And he just dodged every last step. And then, like, in 2 blows, he's got the guy there up in the air, flying across rooftops or whatever it is. And you see Warwick and, of course, Alex looking up, gobsmacked over this. Warwick is, you know, cheering him on and everything. But again, that speaks to the great character dynamics, and I feel like just 2 episodes in, I'm already familiar, I feel like, to a point with these characters and with this world, but it's still very much a burgeoning new experience, again, as seen through the eyes of Alex, who is experiencing the same thing. And I couldn't, you know, give more accolades to this series thus far. First and second episodes, wow factor. I just thoroughly enjoyed them. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 2 of Gangsta, if you've seen it, if you love the action set pieces, if you love the compelling nature of all of that, you know, dog tag, Twilight, the world these characters inhabit, all of that stuff, the criminal element, the crime element, you know, the gangstas, strong-arming people, and then you have these 2 guys who utilize their skills to be cleanup men, to be on, like, the side of good. And it's just, it's entrancing. I don't know. It just really draws me in. So I'd love to hear from you if you have that same effect, or, you know, of course, if you are familiar with the source material, which I'm not, please no spoilers, but let me know what you think of the translation thus far. Is it living up to expectations? Is it, you know, bang on awesomeness, or is it leaving something to be desired? So anyway, otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.